Hello and welcome back to the podcast, We Are Selling. My name's Lee Woodward, your coach and host, and the author of the Complete Salesperson course. Today's program is brought to you by the Agency Portal, Australia's first listed to settled execution platform. This incredible digital platform allows us to use agency sign, agency AML, the sale funding process, commission funder, agency supplier pay, and agency settlements. Agency settlements is the Pixar partner that allows the real estate digital transaction to exist. Let's get started with today's podcast.
And joining me, an interview I've been chasing for a while due to the wonderful historical time of putting these things together. We are joined today by the incredible Jordan Bulmer. Jordan, welcome aboard.
Thank you for having me. What an honour.
Now, Jordan, you've done some amazing things for a very young man in your career and did a fantastic talk at ARIC. You've appeared on many podcasts. You work in Team Steinwade, which would be an event in itself. But how did you get started to even be where you are now?
Yeah, so it's an interesting story. I never thought I'd be a real estate agent. I actually finished school and did a degree in marketing, so I went to university. I was buying my first investment property, and I don't know how I got put in touch with, but a guy named Chris Smith, he's actually business partners, or one of Matt's business partners now, and he goes, mate, you should be in real estate. Like, you've got the talk, you got the this, you got the that. I said, there's no way. Everybody hates you guys. I'm not becoming a real estate agent. He goes, give it a go, 3 months if you don't like it. And I did. And I remember the first day, I don't know, or maybe I sold something or I just enjoyed that. I went, I'm going to be the best at this. It changed in an instant. Like, I just loved it. The thrill of it, the thrill of the deal, big problem solving. But I was working in an area I didn't really resonate with. So I'm a Terrigal boy. He was Toukley. Nothing against Toukley. It just wasn't where I lived. I wasn't involved in the community. I didn't know anything. So after I started to build a few years into my career, I thought, I don't know if I'm meant for this area. And funny enough, my mum, who's a real estate agent, says, why don't you come work with me? That didn't work out either. And I go, you know what, I'm going to this is maybe 3 or 4 years in. And I remember going, I'm going to go to Sydney. I was going to knock on Gavin Rubenstein's door and say, hey, let me work in your team. I'll do anything. Because I wanted to sell nice properties. And that was the vision of my real estate career. And Matt was a ghost, and he still is to this day. You don't really see him. He's around, but he's not. It was probably the first or second time I'd ever seen him ever. And I was filling my water bottle up in the office, and I said, look, thanks for everything. I really appreciate it. I don't know if he even knew my name at that time. And he said, where are you going? I said, I'm going to Sydney. I'm going to do real estate in Sydney. He goes, why? And I said, I really want to work Terrigal, Wombrel, but it's not worked out like that. And I think I want to deal in different real estate. And he goes, join my team. He said, I don't have a position. You can be my cadet. He said, if you give me everything, I'll make you the greatest agent ever.
Wow.
And that moment, there was zero hesitation. I said, done. And then I went from 4 years in real estate back to picking his lunch up and washing his car and getting his kids from school, helping him be the agent he was at that time. And I just worked harder than everybody else. Like, I was in earlier, out later. There was no job too small. There was no job too big. And I just climbed the ranks over a number of years. And I've probably been with Matt now another 8.
Wow. Well, firstly, I interviewed your mother. She's a brilliant real estate agent, but she was on a private podcast that I did for Graha. And, she came into an area that houses were 500,000-600,000 and wrote $1 million in fees in her first year, came from the tally count. So Di Bulmer, loved your interview, and DNA is definitely...
She's a beast.
She is amazing. So you're now working with Matt, and obviously you're at the Complete Salesperson course last year. And I brought up on screen the beautiful pre-listing kit booklet, the magazine one that I love so much. And it shows Matt and then Trevor and yourself. And as I travel, people will say, Lee, why do they have 3 listers? I said, because there's so much opportunity coming in. And, even originally for Matt claiming doors for 30 years, that data and the service area that you do is so clean and tight. How have you been able to claim your doors in addition to the team doors?
Yeah. Well, I'll answer that question first. Why is there 3 listing agents? I don't believe that was ever the intention. If Matt said to me now, I'm going to go list 100 properties a year, will you be my buyer agent again? I go back to being a buyer agent. I just do whatever's the best for the team. How it started with me listing a lot more is Matt said, I don't know if I can deal with the volume as much these days. He said, why don't you do some more listings? And like, I'd love to balance that out a little bit more. Yes, we might need to find another buyer agent, but he said, I think it's time for me to enjoy my life a bit. So it wasn't me. It was that if I had a lead back then, I would just list it. Matt and I had the best synergy in the world. He would list, I would sell. He'd list everything and I'd sell everything. We're world's greatest synergy, but it had to change because his work style has started to change. And as I got into that listing realm, I'm like, well, selling properties was cool, but like, this is actually where the juice is. So now I love the whole listing side of it. But like I said, I'm very team focused. If I needed to move anywhere in this team for the success of it, that's what I would do. It's just at this point in time for us to write the numbers that we want to do, I have to list. So that's what's happening. But how did I claim doors? I just took great care of people. I just took like the best care of people.
It's amazing. I say to people on stage all the time, if you can make your number one lead source the customer experience and one sale generates 5, you've made it. The GCI comes later, getting that part right, that how they feel about you working on it versus, too many agents now are facing that challenge that you did go too low on fees. You told them they didn't need any marketing and you've created your own situation versus we do need to do it right. We do need to approach it. And we discuss that price improvement program all the time, which brings about a point. Jordan, you've just sold a property right near my own home in Point Frederick. And I was walking with my wonderful wife a couple of weeks ago. I texted you and said, what did this go for? It was a non-waterfront. It was just a normal street frontage house. They've done a beautiful renovation to it. And anyway, while I'm waiting for your text, because you're quite fast, you're back, Moody seems pretty good. I said, Rob, what do you think? And she said a number, and I said, no, probably this. And then you told us it was like way over. Take us into that sale because it was just a phenomenal result and not your area normally.
No. Real estate's a relationship game, as we know. The better your relationship with the buyer, the better opportunity you'll find them something. And when you do, they'll pay a fair price. And it's the same with owners. If you take care of people, hopefully you'll list their friend's house, family's house, other houses in other areas. And this was the case. He lives in Terrigal. And I don't know your area super well, but it's the same formula. Present it really well, market it really well, service buyers, and try and find competition. So I just set it up for that. But I know our job is to maximize price. That is our job. We are marketing and negotiators. At some point, AI will do the rest. I'm not silly about that. So when I go into a house, all I'm thinking about, it's hard in the market like it is now, but I'm like, how do I get the most out of the marketplace for this property? And I believed in my heart that house was worth that. Everybody told me, you're mad, it can't happen here. But we've sold a lot of homes in the past, and I've watched Matt create new markets. Because you build a house in an area and you make a record sale, you've created a new market. How do you do that? You believe that that's the new price. And I believed it so deeply that when the buyer come, he could feel that energy. And everybody goes, oh, how did it sell like that? Well, I believed it and I marketed it well and I presented it well and I serviced the person very well. And we were aligned at the price and everybody's happy. It doesn't happen all the time, but if you don't present it well, market it well, get a great agent, believe in the price, then it's never going to happen. So,
well, as a resident of Point Frederick, we thank you greatly. Your incredible result where everyone earned money while they slept. But I seriously, when you text me back, I went, no. If it was waterfront, okay, I get it. But it wasn't. And to the owner, it was stunning. They did a beautiful job on the fit out, which brings us to marketing. Jordan Bulmer, the real estate agent bit was in the middle. You went and studied marketing, and now you got to do street marketing, which is different again. What is it you do that brings the magic to marketing?
Matt's a very good marketer, and I feel like I know something about marketing. And I remembered a book at university that I got told to read. It was called The Purple Cow. And it's a very obvious, when you actually hear the story, it's very obvious. You go past paddock of cows or a normal colour, you don't say much about it, you don't pay attention. If you drive past, there's a purple cow there. Wow, it's a purple cow. What's happening with that? I've never seen a purple cow. And that's how I market. Nothing will leave me, my team, our business, without me going, will that stop someone in their tracks? In a way, it doesn't just be a deal. It doesn't have to be anything too fancy, but I'm if that is the real estate industry, I'm there. Well, I'd hope to think that, at least. Because how do you stand out in such a noisy world of advertising? The only way is to be different. So everything that I do, I try and do different. And I try and do it very authentic. You saw that video we were chatting about. Sometimes I just say, it's very obvious what it is.
Yeah.
But no one says it. I'm willing to take the backlash. I'll just say it. Like I said about these people, about the houses, and it's a bit taboo. Oh, I can't buy a house. Well, have you sacrificed your nights and your weekends and saved and lived under your means? Like, it's not just going to fall in your lap. Like, that is a bit taboo, but it's so real that it's almost good.
Yeah.
And that's why I've always thought about marketing. I really go, okay, why am I sending this? How is that person going to feel? And how is it going to stand out to everybody else? It's just a very simple process on anything that leaves our business.
The video you're referring to was the video you did. You'd been to see a home, you fell passionate in love with it, the owners, you both bouncing around the property and you popped a price on it. And then once the emotion calmed down, you felt, I've gone too much. Take us into that.
Yeah, well, I know these just come to my head, these types of things. And I think in the moment you have such great ideas, but executing it is the most important part. Otherwise, it's just an idea. And sometimes they come to me and I was thinking through what I said. I think I overpriced that property. Got a feeling I've told them too much. It was really bothering me. I slept on it, woke up, thought about it the next day. You know what? I said, you know what? I'm just calling him. And I called and I said, I've told you too much for your home. And he goes, oh, really? And he goes, I was giving you the business anyway. And I said, well, you would have been unhappy in a few weeks and I'm at risk losing the business, but it's actually the truth. And I shared that on a video. That was a story and something that was happening in my life. I share it because it's good for people to see that I'm a normal person. And it's also good for other agents to go, you know what? I may have made that mistake, or although Jordan does whatever, he makes mistakes too. I just like real. That's the problem with the real estate industry, and why back in the very beginning I was like, no, everybody hates you guys. I know I dress nice, but I think if you dress well, you present well, you feel good, you do a good job. I don't want to be in that real estate stigma space. I would hate for someone to do a deal or a listing with me. I mean, not be able to walk past them in the street the next day and go, hey, like, how are you? And have to put my head down. I'm just not in that space. So everything that people would feel, and it's not the case, 95% of the real estate industry are excellent. I just try and be that person, a normal person that services people really well and does creative marketing.
You know, one of my favorite sayings is nothing real can be threatened. And when you do a real job, and let's look at that, a real job of a real estate professional is to protect the asset, because that protects the consumer. And by protecting the consumer, you generate an opportunity for them from your skills that they couldn't do themselves. And it's an amazing thing. But if I look back into my sales career, and people always ask me, you know, what was the most important sale you ever did? It wasn't the big price stuff. It was the mum and dad that didn't have much, and I made $100,000 difference in their life, tax-free. And one lady said to my mum at the club, your son changed our life. You know, we've never had money.
That's it.
That's the moment.
That is the best part of real estate. It truly is. Because how important is a home to someone? I love that, Lee. That's fantastic. That's the stuff that you remember.
Oh, 100%. And it's why you do this. And how old are you at the time of recording?
Now, today, 31.
31?
Yeah.
And you just had a beautiful little girl.
Congratulations. Changed my life. Best that ever happened to me.
It's actually changed your signals of life.
I'm like, could almost float around.
Yeah.
Now, like I'm just so pumped with life.
Yeah.
It's in an instant. When I was driving to the hospital and then we had Minnie and we're driving out, I was like to Kim, wow, the things that were important to me on the way in here are so not important now on the way out. Like I just want a minivan of children. I open the door and they all fall out and they're like, Dad, they're all yelling at me and it's just chaos. Like that's what I want. And I want to create a life for little human beings.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, it's amazing. You're a dad, so you know it, but when it's your first, it's very different.
Very much so. So a big question around the country right now that I'd like to ask you about. A lot of people have tried the teams-based business, the effective business unit. Agent 2PAs is different. But when you are in a team environment, everyone's got their commitments and what they need to do. Team style mode can be doing anywhere from 15 to 20 sales a month. I know when I spoke at your end of month thing, Jamie Wilcock had to be overseas, so I was pulled in to do the talk, and you guys had done incredible numbers for the month. And I was even there myself thinking, this is regional success. Well, we're not on Sydney Harbour here. We're on Gosford Harbour, but we're not on Sydney Harbour. We're on Gosford Harbour. Why does that team with very different personalities just work so well?
Great leadership and great respect for one another. Like, we've all worked together. Everybody individually is a great person. Everybody is excellent within their role, within their swim lane. But everybody respects Matt and trusts his leadership. Like, sure, his can be interesting at times, but we generally love one another. Like, I could never leave the team because it's become a family, and you feel the pressure for sure. But I think it comes down to great leadership. Matt's always been very fair. He almost understands what you want out of your life before you, and he's already set that path ahead. He was always like that. I never had to ask for a pay rise. I never had to say, can I do this with marketing? He was always thinking forward for me. So I just knew from even the beginning, I've got growth here. But everybody's individually. What's important to me and what's important to Ash is very different, but Bat's all over that. So leadership, great people, a common respect for one another. But in our team too, there has been people that come in and don't want to perform like we do. Like, most of us have sacrificed our lives, and we still do. So if someone come in and said, I want to coach my son's soccer team, which it would be excellent, or I want to finish at 3 every hour, they're not going to be the right fit for our team. Like, you're literally, your life is this team, and we want to shoot for the stars. So we have a common interest, which makes it easy.
And the amazing Trevor Hamilton has been there from the beginning. Yeah. And you know, when they do that ranking of all the trades of the world, and real estate comes in low, he was a nurse. It was right up the top there. And now but he handles it so well. I'm going to get Trevor on this program.
He's one of the greatest agents.
Yeah,
he has the perfect combination of coming from an emergency nurse, so very caring, like very aware, great street smarts, and he's just a phenomenal agent too.
Yeah,
he's
and writing big numbers that people love. Yeah, he's writing his equal share in there,
and everybody just works in sync perfectly. It's a great team.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, Jordan, the incredible world of McGrath has produced so many wonderful people. And it's amazing for me. I've been with John 30 years. You know, it was my first big gig as a kid to go in and be director of sales for John, and seeing play down the line, all the ones coming through now. Gus was on our program not so long ago, but the Central Coast McGrath team's quite unique. It's regional success. It was the first move out of Sydney to put the McGrath brand franchise first out. It happened up here, and now it's gone right up north to, you guys are right up to Newcastle and past there. What's next for you? What's got Jordan excited, passionate to get out of bed? What do you want to progress in your career next?
I'm just obsessed with winning. Like, I just want to obliterate my competition so badly, and then go and see them in the afternoon and say, how are you? It's great to see you. How's the family? But I just like to win. I want every great listing with mine and Matt's name attached to it. I want our team to prosper. I want all of our girls to get paid a lot of money. I want to go on holidays. So this career, I love it. I want to win so badly. But it's the fuel for us to have amazing lives. I'd love to definitely grow an investment portfolio further and all of those type of things. But really, I just like to wake up and enjoy what I do, have a great family, have a great team, have enough money where I can do whatever I want, essentially. But winning is everything. I want to keep winning better listings and keep increasing our market share. Now, that might be a really little goal, but I just like when a listing comes up and it's an amazing listing and our names are on it. That's it. Well, the rest takes care of itself.
Well, the work you're doing here on the Central Coast is amazing. I want to thank you for joining us on We Are Selling and our first video production version of the program. You got the big gig straight up.
Exciting.
Thank you for watching, and Jordan, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Lee.